coming back home because I started my career in ICAT in December 2009. December 2000, yeah, I think December 2011, and again we are in the December. I think it was on 6th December when I joined ICAT, so it's a good round circle. Today I'm pleased to share some of my experiences in my journey of Toastmasters, and today the topic which we have chosen for our contestants' preparation is table topics. Before we start, if I can just have a few show of hands who are going to participate in this year's table topic. Please, so listen to this session carefully. I'm sure most of us already know most of the things, but we'll try to experiment based on this session, and after this session immediately we'll be having the table topic session, and we'll try to apply what is being told here in the table topic session. Now, when I listened to today's speakers, in fact I realized that there were table topics already when the speakers were speaking. If I ask in Kamlesh's speech, the topic was, should we be straight to the point or go around it? Sunil gave at least 10 table topics in his speech. If I were Steve Jobs, what is the scariest moment of your life? Can you connect the dots of life looking backwards? Do visions come true? When was the last time you got rejected in life? What will you do if life hits you with a brick? Should we do what we love doing? What will you do if this is the last day of your life? Stay hungry, stay foolish. So, table topic is not something which is to be taken out from some books or encyclopedia, it's everywhere. Now, the objective of today's session, given the time, is what we should do during those precious moments when we have those topics given. What is the approach we use? Now, my experience is based on when I last visited DTAC in Dubai, and then I think throughout this year also participating in table topics, area division. So, I'll just share my experiences. Possibly you can take some tips out of it and you can get started immediately after the session. So, the first thing which I remember, if you see this line, I want to be there. That line I remember I registered in my mind when I saw the DTAC competition in 2013. Because when I saw the stage and I saw the people participating and the aura and the energy and the amount of satisfaction you get to be on the stage, that's the time you decide, I want to be there. And we could make it up to the next year. So the feeling that I want to be there, whether it is table topic or any competition, is the first thing which keeps you the fire burning to start your journey in any contest. Now, as we have very few precious moments, I think 15 seconds or maybe less than 20 seconds when we start the table topic session, what we should do between the time when the topic is given and the time when you start uttering the first word. In fact, most of the feedback which comes during the table topic session and after the judges give the feedback is, we don't listen to the topic. And that's the most precious thing, because 50 to 60% of the contestants get eliminated because the topic which they attempt and what the judges look for is different. You are asked to give a reply whether oranges are blue or red. You listen properly, oranges, and then you start, yes, oranges are purple because, and by the time the topic is already there, you are already out. So listen to the topic properly. Now just imagine that a session is going to start. We have almost 15 seconds. But before that, when you are in the crowd, try to identify few familiar faces whom you can look into and smile. Whether the topic is tough or easy, that's secondary part, but at least it gives you that confidence that okay, there is someone who will at least support me when I am on the stage. So identify 4 corners which is called 4 quadrilaterals in any podium, few faces there, few faces there, and when you have the eye contact with those few 4 faces, people will feel that you are having the eye contact with everyone. Smile, because that releases the tension. I know there is a lot of tension when you stand on the stage, but believe me, if you are smiling, that radiates the atmosphere to the audience also. Salutations confirm. I'll come to the main thing. The same approach for an international speech also applies to the table topic, but there are few suggested approach, and one of the best approach which has been proven, I would say in 80 to 90% hit rate, in fact it has almost worked every time for me, is called the prep approach. I would suggest if some of you can note down these few suggestions, because this will be helping you. Now we are actually into the session now. Now the prep simply stands for positioning, reason, examples, and then positioning. We will demonstrate today how we are going to use this approach. SMG, story, message, and gist. We will come to the details. PPF, first is positioning, reason, examples, and positioning. Take a position. I will come to that.
Isn't it you already started positioning the first?
Again, yeah.
Position, reason, example, position.
First and last, one and
Same. Yeah. SMG is story, message, and gist, which is a summary. PPF is past, present, and future. Right now, you just note the anacrons. We will go to the details. My main objective today is to dwell a little bit more into prep, because I'm sure if you are attempting generally at the contest level of a club or an area level, we generally have the topics coming from the prep. Now what is prep? They ask you to take a position. In most of the topics, like if I take today's topic,
role model.
should we do something what others believe in? You will say either I believe in or I don't believe in. So you take a position. Do visions come real? Prep. So it's very clear. When you take a position, certain times you decide, okay, whether when you are taking a position, depending on the topic, you immediately start following this rule. So position, reason is first take the position, yes, the visions do come real. Then support it by your reasons. It comes real because if we don't struggle hard, if we don't look forward for our visions, it is we who work for our vision, and only we can make our visions come true. Positioning, reason. I can state the example of my father who had a vision to construct his factory, and he always believed his children that they will do the same, and today it is true that this factory has come alive. So friends, I believe strongly in this message that visions do come true. This is one of the examples. So what we are doing is we are taking a position, reasoning, examples, and at the end you should summarize. So when we saying again the position, what we are doing is that we are summarizing whatever we have said. I'll demonstrate this one with the topic which was given to me in the division level. You can just go through it and then we'll take it forward. So I am the contestant and here is the table topic master. Contestant number 3. What do you think is the greatest 8th wonder of the world? What do you think is the 8th wonder of the world? Contestant 3. Now, I make an entry to the stage. I get around 5 or 10 seconds. I pause, structure my thoughts, and then I remember my prep. I need to take a position, then reasoning, examples and position. And here it starts. Man can construct Atlantis. They can build Mount Everest. They can build Burj Khalifa, go down to the top of bottom of the ocean. They can go to the Mars. But can a person create a child with the mother's womb? Contest chair. We all know that child in the mother's womb is the greatest wonders of the world. Can any wonder of the world beat it? Never. Because a child has a capacity to create so many wonders of the world that each wonder of the world can be devastated by that single child in the mother's womb. When a child is born, even before he is born with lot of paraphernalia. He has respect, loyalty, integrity, love, affection, all built with the culture, the values, the traditions given by the parents and forefathers. Can technology beat it? Never. Because technology cannot construct this amazing creation of God, which is unique and which is one of its kind. And once the child is born, he can construct whatever the structures, because that intelligent mind which has been constructed in the child's womb has the ability to create wonders in the world. I remember a story from Mahabharata when Yudhishthira was told, which is the heaviest thing in the world? And Yudhishthira replied, it is the child in the mother's womb. Friends, we have seen it, we believe in it, and let's acknowledge today that child in the mother's womb is the greatest wonders of the world. Contest chair. Possibly I would not taken the full time, but if you see clearly, I was not terrified on the stage because I knew very clearly I am using. Could you see the prep approach? I concluded with my position, took the position, used some examples and gave my reasoning. Let's go to the story, message, and then give a conclusion. Let's take an example. The parents have the right to be angry on their child. We can have the approach which is prep also, but here I feel something which is related to emotions and family, the activity can work. Let me start with one. It was that other day when I was playing with my child and suddenly he dropped a glass full of water on my table and my papers were destroyed. I shouted, "What are you doing, little villain?" And the child was crying. He was just 5 years old. And that day I realized, is anger good for the child? My aggressiveness would have destroyed my little child. Friends, we all face such circumstances and ask ourselves whether anger is good by the parents to the child. I believe no, anger is not good by the parents to the child. We should have a positive, calm and a learning, a friendly approach when we deal with the child. And let's not face anger, but live a life with our children with love, sympathy and friendliness. A small approach of message. There is a story, because here there is an emotion, the message, and you can put with that game. Now one more instruction or one more feedback which I got in table topic is that, see, sometimes where do you get the story? When you are on the stage, where do you get the story? The best and the most effective story where the emotions come in is your children. Find some reason to involve your children, maybe your parents also, or your wife, but basically your children or your parents, because that brings the emotional connect. And in most of the cases you can find some story which you can bring it. Maximum 1 or 2, because you don't have much time. And remember, let me first complete this SMG. Drive the point. Past, present and future. Now here, let's take an example as, is newspaper a thing of the past? Now, certain topics which are very clear. Is newspaper a thing of the past? What we have been doing in the past? We have been referring to the newspapers, reading, starting our day with the morning, read it, take to the office, share it with the people. Present, in this age of e-commerce, we refer to our laptops, media and everything. We generally may not be referring to the newspapers. And the future, possibly we get the messages on the voice or any other means, and possibly the newspaper will be out of date. So past, present and future, and then summarize. But this approach I have seen in most of the topics, past, present and future is not given. Too much of topics are not given on this. Two prone answers, where you have to find cause and a reason. I'll try to see if we have time. This is again a topic which was given to me in DTAC. The topic which was given to me: do you see the glass half full or half empty? Now, in most of the cases I say prep is used, but here you have to give both the sides. Do you see the glass half full and half empty? The irony with this topic is that first you have to explain what the glass means. What is glass half full and glass half empty? So in many cases when the topic is having a phrase or a jargon, we give some explanation and then come to the main topic and take a stand, then positioning, reasoning and conclusion. So we have, once you take a stand, you stick to it. What happens, what is the mistake which we do is that sometimes the glass may be full, but when I am in another situation, for me the glass may be empty. Now they just don't know what is the position you are taking. So be very clear what is the stand you are taking. Once you take a stand, define it. In fact, the second place winner in the semi-finals, he took, I will neither take the glass half full, neither take the glass empty. I will take a balanced approach. So his answer was different from the rest. Again, in table topic, one more thing is that the judges also look as to whether what you are speaking is something different from what the other audience would reply. If you see my reply for the glass in the mother's womb or something, you'll see that there is the answers which are not common answers which the people would reply. Now, time is short, but let me try to raise few quiz questions, and we stick to the three approaches: past, present and future, prep and SMG, and let's try to evaluate where we stand. In your opinion, what is the greatest wonder of the world? Prep is okay? Prep is okay?
Yeah.
What is more important, intelligence or common sense?
Common sense.
Take a stand, maybe past, present and future. Compare and contrast, right? Because you are taking a stand and then you use a prep.
Half full.
If you could live in a different time and space, where and when you want to live?
SGF okay.
PPF.
नहीं SGF था ना.
See, like
SMG.
a child who started giving a story, here you are giving a story about why you want to live in space, and some story you built up on with some emotions, and then you read. Sometimes prep may also work, but this I already discussed. Do you see the glass half full or half empty? Pros and cons, balance approach. Now, why I lost in the DTAC? Because I used a different approach, and the person who won, he used this approach. He said the glass is full, it means this. the glass is empty, it means this, but according to me, in my opinion, the glass is, he explained both the position, then he started and then finally concluded. In fact, one other person who gave a very different answer, he said, let me first clean my glass before I see the glass full or half empty. So that created an instant humor, and then it got he stood third in the semi-final, but then in final there were other contestants. Rose by any name would spell as sweet. You define, give a story with your children or whatever, and then go to the message and then. Because here, rose by any, you cannot use prep, because there is nothing of the reasoning. Greatest fear about fear is the fear itself, a division table topic. Because when you are on the stage, you are almost
Compare and
confused, and then
okay.
the best way is that you start with the story. And in a table topic today, what we will also do is that as soon as you see the yellow light, we are over the time, as soon as you see the yellow light, start your conclusion. To conclude, to summarize, I state my point that the glass should be half full. So please remember, you need to summarize and let the judges know that you are near to the conclusion. Don't repeat the topic because you need the time. In fact, fellow contestants, fellow judges, fellow Toastmasters, you have only 2 minutes 30 seconds. Avoid all, just say contest here and start moving to the topic. Most of the things are to be read in the slide which we can follow later. But today we are having this session of the education session and the table topic together. The topic would be given. I'll ask the table topic master to please be on the stage. So the approach which we'll use is that once you complete your 2 minutes, we'll try to analyze immediately and see where you stand. Please. Okay, my session is over, so I'll ask you to thank you.
Thank you.